I guess my first question is, you know your history, you're endlessly briefed, but on a day like today, I would imagine that there's still a moment or there's something that happened that surprises even you. What was that for you today?
Well, one of the moments, today was about the veterans and seeing and hearing them and their stories, watching one of them roll up his pants and step into the water. The impact and the human cost of this is always in your mind. And as someone said, you think of what these families and what the world would be like if these young men had stayed home and continued to grow their families and contributed. But the flip side of that, what would the world be like had we not had D-Day, had we not vanquished fascism in 1944? How much longer would the war have lasted? So there's a sense of one of those fulcrum points in history that we are remembering and that we are recommitting ourselves to today.
Well, we heard some of that in your speech, certainly today, and you know that there will be people who got up early, who are listening to what you said, who are parsing every word, who are wondering that at the point in the speech when you talk about finding commonalities despite differences, how much of that was intended for President Trump?
I think today was about Canadians. Today is about remembering that we are stronger when we stand together. When Canadians of all different backgrounds took this beach 75 years ago, when we continue to stand together to face down whatever challenges the world comes at us. To remember that we can't take anything for granted, but we can't either allow ourselves to be frightened into one side or the other or cowering. We need to continue to be strong and confident and know what these 19-year-old heroes were able to accomplish 75 years ago is not out of the grasp of our 19-year-old heroes today, out of the grasp of all of us as we work together to overcome the challenges we're facing.
And what happens for you when you're here and you're paying such enormous respect to people who deserve every ounce of it, obviously, and yet you know that at home there are people who are critical of your government for the way veterans are handled? How do you deal with that?
There's always more to do. What we owe to those who step up to serve their country and their families with them is a debt that can never be repaid. But what we've done as a government over the past 3 years is put $10 billion more to follow through on our commitment for a pension for life that is making sure that our wounded veterans are better off than they were under the old system. We've done a lot. We reopened the Veterans Affairs offices that were closed by the previous government. But this is politics. There are always going to be people saying you need to do more, you need to do more. We are hearing that and we are working on that.
Are they right when they say that about veterans?
They are right that when they say we always need to do more for our veterans, yes, but they're also right, all the people who recognize that this government has done far more than any previous government for our veterans.
My last question, when you were down on the beach with the veterans and it was sort of that lovely chaotic scene, I think all of us watching sort of wanted to lean in and get a microphone a little bit closer. What were they saying to you?
It was a tremendous sense of pride for most of them to be able to be here on this day, to be able to represent their comrades in arms who either fell that day or have fallen since. But that sense of accomplishment, that sense of having worked hard to create a better world, and that sense of passing the torch along to the next generations to keep up the fight that they led so valorously.
Is that what they were saying to you? Because their arms, there was a lot of animated talk going on.
Some of them remember me as a child and remembered meeting my father, and there was a lot of personal connections there as well. But the message was really one of being grateful to be here and grateful for all that we've been able to build as a country and hopeful about the future.
Well, this is certainly a place in a country that's grateful for Canada. Thank you very much.